be doing shit. And I'm ready with receipts, I be proving shit. I blow 50 racks in Target on some stupid shit. Bitches out here must be slow, they out here.
So I just finished the last video, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make one more video before I depart. Let's see which one. I come up with videos off the top of my head. Like, I used to write that shit down, but I'm like, it's so vivid in my memory most of the times. I'm just like, fuck it. I think I'm just gonna go with the mental hospital one. Every time I do it, the video is like an hour long, but I'm definitely just gonna sum this up. Like, yeah, I've recorded like a couple of videos and they're an hour long, and I'm like, I cannot edit this shit. I checked myself, let me rephrase that. I went into a behavioral health hospital and told them that I felt like I wanted to unalive myself. They asked me, you know, did I have a plan? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, what was your plan? And I was like, A, B, or C, D, whichever one works. But I already tried these things and they didn't work. On the website, it says that, you know, if you go in and explain that you're having suicidal thoughts or, you know, homicidal thoughts as in hurting others, you know, just come let us know, and, you know, we'll do an outpatient. No. After I told them that, they had me lock my phone in a locker, and they told me they had to hold me for about 3 to 5 days. That's what she told me. And I was like, hold me? The fuck are you talking about? And this is like 11 o'clock at night. I was like going manic. I was like, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be where I was. I didn't want to be the other options of where I was. I didn't want to be anywhere. Like, I just did not want to be on this planet. But I knew that, like, I don't have the courage to do what I wanted to do. Not that I don't want to do it still, but I just don't have the courage to do what I wanted to do. So I was just like, I need some type of help, and I wasn't getting it out there on streets. So I had to lock my phone in a locker. I was in there with a couple other girls that I kept in contact with after we left. One of the girls was so crazy. She was talking about she got homicidal thoughts, like her house got shut up so many times and she had to kill niggas and rob shit. And she just openly saying this. Some people came via police car because, you know, they went to the emergency room, like they're told by their psychiatrist or therapist, and they told the emergency room, where they strap you down in a bed or put you in handcuffs in the back of a cop car to make sure you don't hurt yourself or others, and they take you to a mental hospital. So that's pretty much everybody that I knew there had done that option. They had went to the hospital, or like they were trying not to get arrested. So like 3-4 hours later, after waiting in there, probably 3 o'clock in the morning now, because I went at 11, I finally go up there, and she told me over the video, because keep in mind, this wasn't me talking to an actual person and intake. This was a virtual thing. I mean, I can't say that it's fine. It's not. So she assured me that I would be with the women, but when I got up there, they had told me that I will be in the men's area until I'm able to go in to find a bed in the women's area. Like, I don't know. I went in there, and it was my first time going to sleep in the dark without no noise, no nothing, no phone. And I go in there, and I have a roommate in there. Her name was Tyranny. You know, she was cool. Didn't really ask her why she was in there. That would have been weird. But the next morning when I woke up, I realized, like, yeah, fuck, I'm deep in the men's unit. Like, there was some niggas in orange jumpsuits. There was, like, grown-ass niggas. And, like, of course they was trying to talk to me because I was one of 3 girls out of 30 niggas in a fucking men's unit. But it wasn't, like, on the weird stuff. The only guy that was weird and odd was trying to talk to me. He had schizophrenia, some type of disorder to where he had multiple personality disorder. It was just weird. Like, every moment that he was awake, he never stopped talking. And nobody tolerated to be around him, I guess, but me, because only because I'm not, like, I wasn't mean. I didn't say, like, get the fuck away from me. I just know how to zone out when people talk. Other than that, you know, I witnessed some almost fights. It's the way that they interact. Like, group meetings were dry. Nobody spoke except for me. Just any activities was just dry. The only thing that I liked over there is that it was quiet and they did not mind watching South Park 24/7. And nobody was really on the phones. There was 2 phones, both sides of the room. The TVs were in a box. The remote control was in a box, so like you couldn't throw it. The chairs were heavier than balls. Like, I'm talking heavy as shit. You couldn't throw them hoes. The same in the cafeteria. The food was terrible. Had to wake up every morning at 6 a.m. to get your vitals done. I think that first day is when I was able to see my psychiatrist or doctor or whatever the fuck he was. What really grinded my gears about this situation is that the doctor, when he was, like discussing things with me, asking me questions, how do I feel, what drove me here, and me telling him, and he's like, dude was nodding off mid-interview. And instead of me asking like, hey bro, are you okay? I was just like, I need my meds. Like, I really need my meds. Because I had been in there half a day, didn't have my meds because I was already on medication before I went. So he told me what he'd be prescribing me, but they just didn't get it until the next day. So I threw a tantrum. I think that night or the morning I woke up because I couldn't sleep, and I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5, I think, just roaming around, my head spinning. Like, I was just in my head really bad. They were like, my doctor hasn't put anything in, no medication for me to sleep, no anxiety medication, so they can't give me anything. So I was just going off, calling them African booty scratchers, because for some reason, there was a shitload of Africans that worked there. I guess they're in the industry? I don't know. But I pretty much threw a temper tantrum, and like an hour or so later, they told me that I got medication for anxiety. So I get my medication, but I still feel like shit because, of course, didn't have any marijuana to smoke. Like, I didn't have my phone. Like, that was the most withdrawal. Like, just sitting there with no phone in my hand, going to the bathroom, no phone, laying in bed, no phone. So I was like trying to sit away from the guys because some of them was just staring at me like real fucking creepy. And I tried to sit in the hallway, and they kept telling me, get out the hallway. We need to be able to see you for your own safety. You're in here with a bunch of guys. And then I literally said, like, why the fuck am I in here then? Y'all need to put me with the girls. And I really didn't want to go to the girls' side because the guys kept telling me, yeah, they're all on their periods at once. It sync up every time we hear on a speaker code so-and-so, and the girls' side. And I was only on the guys' side for 2 days. So by the end of I think, was it the 3rd day? The days were so jumbled up when I started taking my medication, I didn't even know what day it was. So I will say by the 3rd day, I felt like I was on the guy's side for about straight 2 days before I went to the girl's side. And I got to the girl's side right before their lunch. So I get to the girl's side, and I immediately see the females that I met at intake, so I didn't feel so lonely, and they were in a group. And I was like, group, because the guys weren't saying anything. When I go in there, it's way more interactive. Like, the girls were talking, they were laughing, the therapist, she was cool. Everybody got to put in their 2 cents. So after that, I start talking to the girls that I met at intake, and we all start talking to each other because, they're like, my name is so-and-so, what's your name? It was a very interactive place because, shit, all we had was coloring books, puzzles. It was just so many weird fucking games. And each other to entertain ourselves. So I met a lot of cool people. A lot of people looked like a celebrity to me. Like, one lady looked like the actor who played the Bride of Chucky. One girl looked like Emma Stone from Easy A. One girl looked like just the extra off Orange Is the New Black. Like, a lot of people looked like a lot of people to me. So it was some people that I knew for 2 days, some people that I knew for 3, 4, or just 1 day. And it felt like we were in there for, I'm trying to tell you, 1 day equaled a week. It felt long. And I can't even say the medication helped. The medication helped slow it down and pretty much slow our thought process, because by the time I was over there, the doctor had fully put in my medication. And when I say I was higher than a kite, I was higher than I had ever been in my whole life, taking all those medications. They had prescribed me trazodone for sleep, 100 milligram lametrogen for bipolar disorder, Prozac for anxiety, hydroxyzine for anxiety again, What else? Gabapentin for nerve damage, and I feel like I'm missing one. I can't remember. It was just a whole lot of medication. But after I took it, I was just like, fuck it, chilling in here. Like the only thing that was bothering me is like, fuck, I don't know what my daughter's doing. I don't know where she's at, but I know she's safe. I'm putting my head down because I got to do this. But I was just like, I know she's safe and whatnot, so I'm just gonna try and not worry about it too much. And it was really hard to worry when you're high as shit. So, I pretty much made a lot of friends. We colored, we laughed, we played games. I would say the cons about that place was like the music therapy. Sometimes we went outside, the lady played music, or inside we were all able to write what song we wanted to listen to, and they would play it per request, as long as it was appropriate and wasn't about like offing yourself, of course. So, and just the different therapy sessions, like they helped, but we didn't get extensive care. Like there was no therapist to come by every day or every other day and say, hey, you know, are you ready for, goddamn, yeah, see, all these twists are not perfect, but I'm not gonna fix it. They just be like, you know, how are you doing today? I remember she's like the assistant to the psychiatrist that I had. She asked me one day, like, you know, how are you? Are you still having those dreams? And I'm just like, because what I learned there, you're just supposed to say, no, I'm good, happy, yada, yada, yada. You know, as long as you don't do it in like an obvious way where like you're trying to go home, because then they're just going to keep you longer. So I was just like, I'm actually having better dreams now, which was a lie. I was having worse nightmares in there than I was ever. And that's because when I stopped smoking ganja, my dreams are more vivid. They're more I was going to say prosthetic. Whatever it is that predicts the future. I have precognitive dreams that just show me things that are going to happen. And when I was in there, I had dreams about a few things, and when I got out, those things were confirmed. But just my whole life, I've always had dreams like that. But when they asked me, do I see people, you know, I was, you know, telling them the truth. I said yes. I seen people a couple times, like, you know, waking up out of my sleep and then blinking, like waking up out of my sleep, seeing somebody there, and then blinking and that person is gone. But I was like, it really only happened one time. Other than that, you know, I'd wake up and feel like somebody's tugging at my feet. I feel like I'm always being watched. I can't be in the dark, yada, yada, yada. Recently, one thing that happened, I want to say 2-3 days ago, if I was to tell them this, I definitely would have stayed locked up a couple, you know, some time. I woke up and I thought I seen my boyfriend standing at the doorway of our room, and it was just a shadow looking at me. And I woke up and I remember saying, I'm up, because I thought he was just like checking to see if I was up so he could come in, or, you know, I don't know. But then I remember laying back down and going to sleep, and then I look over and he was picking up his blanket, laying it in the bed, and then laid in the bed. So I couldn't go to sleep after that. And I was like, you slept on the couch? And he said, yeah. And I couldn't go back to sleep because I was like, why the fuck did you sleep on the couch? And then he was like, I didn't really sleep on the couch. You woke me up tossing and turning. I did not sleep on the couch. And he just kept saying that. And I was like, I really think you fucking with me at this point, because I just seen you put your blanket on the bed. And he's like, this is like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. He's like, no, I didn't. And at this point, he's upset because I woke him up, and I could tell he'd been asleep. So I was just like tripping balls. Then I went back to sleep, back to the mental hospital thing. So of course, on the girl side, there was fights. There was at least one female. There was only one female that did not fucking like me because I thought I was all that, but it was pretty much because she was old and dried up, and like I was in there with no makeup on, still the cute wig gonna fall off, all that. Like my lace was coming up, and people, like a lot of people thought that I was a burn victim, and like my scalp was just, they thought my scalp had been burnt off, and that my hair on my head was real. I was just like, it might as well because I paid for it. So my roommate over there, I can't even explain it. Just know I had a very interesting roommate. I really don't want to put a lot of business out here because, you know, I do have a lot of those friends that watch my YouTube channel, and only certain ones, you know, are cool with me putting out information, but I'm not going to dish out all that shit. So as far as crazy, like I was in the crazy house. The first unit I was in was the men's unit. The second unit I was in was the women's unit, so it was unit 6, 8, and then 5 was for the real crazy people. Then they had a section for adolescent kids, and man, it was young kids you seen up in there, and some of them probably weren't bad. They just seen shit, been through shit, whatever. But then they had the old people area. So for smoke breaks, they would, give everybody non-tobacco cigarettes. We had non-caffeine coffee, and we had like 15 to 30 minutes outside, and it was like just probably like a 25 by 10 foot area going straight up around this just brick wall. So it felt like, I wouldn't say jail because I've never been there. It felt like an odd purgatory, like I was gonna be here for the rest of my fucking life. Only because I had no choice. I couldn't get out. I had to stay, and if I did not comply, then they would strap me down in the crazy unit, and I did not want to go there. I would say there was like a main 3 people that made my time there. One was Lizzie, one was Jay, and of course, everybody will agree to this, Amanda. Oh boy, this girl here, she's like 19 years old. She done been arrested multiple times. Bro, her life stories, because you best believe we was up in there telling life stories. You could just tell she was dead ass. The shit that she done went through, like, I believed it before she was trying to fight the fucking nurse. Before she was trying to fight the girl that don't like me, because another girl told her, when I say it was like orange to the black, it was fucking messy. It was messy as hell. Because of course it's a bunch of girls. And they stayed on the phones too. So she tried to fight the girl that said, she didn't like me because the girl, her roommate told Amanda that she wanted to fight her. And when Amanda rushed in on her, she was like, bitch, you want to fight, yada, yada, yada. And the girl, her name was Pocahontas. We all went by like nicknames. And she was on the phone, and Pocahontas was like, who the fuck said I wanted to fight you? Come over here and let me know who said that. And I'm just standing behind Amanda like. So the girl eventually asked to be moved because she felt threatened, for her safety and whatnot. Didn't move her. And Amanda was trying to fight the nurse because there was an old lady in there. She didn't want to eat. She didn't want to drink anything. And Amanda went off on the nurse because the nurse was trying to shove food in her mouth. And Amanda was just like, you don't have to force feed somebody who don't want to fucking eat. And she ran up on the lady. Like, the nurse was going back off on her. It was just crazy as fuck. So that's when the other thing happened with Pocahontas after that. And then the whole time I was there, nobody liked this 18-year-old pregnant girl. She looked like a hillbilly, one tooth missing in the front. She was like saying ew to gay commercials. I can't say I wasn't being petty and enjoying myself, but there was other people that did not hold their tongue, didn't sugarcoat a damn thing. So nobody really liked this pregnant girl, but I conversated with her every now and then just because nobody really liked her, and other girls that were really like had different disabilities, I would say, and people didn't like them. So this girl, she was like really demanding, really rude, like trash, and Amanda pretty much didn't like her because of the way she treated other people. And Amanda was the type that's like, I don't care if you don't want to fucking fight, or if you did or something or didn't do anything, she's gonna fight. So one day it was after this girl I still talk to, her name is Shay. It's not her name, but her name is Shay, and I don't know what ticked her off. She said, I can't remember, but she punched this girl, Rose, the one that was being messy, saying that old girl Pocahontas wanted to fight Amanda, going around. It's pretty much Pocahontas' roommate. Fucking Shay punched Rose in the back of her head while she was on the phone, and Amanda pretty much played linebacker and like bum rushed her ass. I'm talking pushed her ass all the way into damn near next November. And Amanda's this small, tiny, skinny girl, and Shay was like 3 times her size. I'm talking Shay was big, thick. So after that, Rose was talking about she wanted to press charges on that bitch, yada, yada, yada. And of course, nothing happens like that in a mental hospital, because as a mental patient and as somebody who has a mental disorder, it's always excused because of our mental state, which is pretty much true. Because if you end up to a point to where you voluntarily have to admit yourself into, not even admit, but go into a hospital, any hospital, and say like, yeah, I really don't want to be living anymore. Like, I have a plan and I need you to stop me from doing it. And yeah, something fucking wrong with you. And people would think it's being weak. I hate when people say that. Like, it's really not. It's strong, like, admitting that we don't want to be stuck in the same fucking cycle until we die. And then it's like, when we retire, who really makes enough money to where they can retire and live happily, not comfortably, but happily. I'm off topic. So after that little broth shuffle, Amanda was hyped. You know, she was like now I want to see a fight. So the pregnant girl said something at the con, was like, I'm not fucking talking to you. And Amanda was trying to talk to the orderly. I did see that and hear that. And Amanda went off. She was like, bitch, if you don't yada yada yada. So the pregnant girl literally left from the counter and ran from her room because Amanda was going off and she hid in her room. So Amanda was going off like, that's why your nigga don't want you. Like, you fucking bitch, I'll kill you. That was her main line. So then the girl came back out the room and Amanda was trying to fight her again. And nobody wanted to, I guess a lot of other people seen Amanda, how strong she was. And then she was half my size. So it tells you a lot. Nobody really wanted to stop her from fighting because I guess they'd already seen she was a linebacker. But, you know, I was just like, bro, I don't really want to see her fuck this pregnant girl up because I just don't. So I'm at the doorway blocking it. And when I say this motherfucker's strong as shit, like she was about to pass me. She was about to rush past me and fuck this girl up. So they called the code 5, which they did several times because of fights that were breaking out. And this big ass black man came in. I'm talking about Shaquille O'Neal style. And they was just telling her, like, come on, like, you know, you being transferred to another unit. She put up a fight like she was getting arrested. The big old black orderly dude, he had to literally pick her up and she still was finna slip the fuck out. Like, this girl has strength for days. Bro, found out in there she was fucking a cop's sister. This girl came in and she was like, well, you look like this dude I was fucking. And she was like, I doubt it. He's a police officer. And she was like, yeah, is his name so-and-so? Girl, I could literally make a detailed whole fucking story about the things that I experienced in there. But I'm not. I just want to sum it up. The pros and cons to it. The bed, the food was terrible where I went, and I'm going to put the title of where I went for all of you Houston livers, Houstonians, to avoid this place and anything like this place. No mental hospital is worth it. All they're going to do is drug you up and make you feel grateful for the life that you have outside of those walls. Pretty much like jail, except for they give you coloring books and, well, jail, they give you checkers and shit. I don't know. But it just makes you feel appreciative of what you have and, you know, just that. Like, no over there. Just that simple thing. What are the pros of it? I guess the pros of it would be the fact that you didn't go along with, this just unraveled. You better hold. Don't be mad. Yeah, the pros would just be that you went through the process and you didn't do something that you were gonna regret, because trust and believe, 9 times out of 10, whatever you was trying to do, you ain't gonna succeed. I still can't think of any pros. I would say, like, a pro is if you want jail without, like, I can't even say that. I don't even know, because I've never been to jail. If you want to just stay high all day and, like, walk in lines, eat terrible food, and I'm telling you, like, this high is just, like, it's only going to be the high that the doctors feel that you should be on. So some people didn't get any medication prescribed to them because, yeah, they were manic, but they didn't show any signs of, fuck. God damn it. They didn't show any signs of immediate medical attention. So, of course, I met a lot of girls in there who did different things. We all had different life experiences. We shared those life experiences like we were sisters. A lot of us promised to keep in touch when, you know, we got out, but that just didn't happen. It probably happened for like a week. The only group that stayed in connection was me, Liz, and Jay. We still are kind of connected, but we just don't hang out anymore because being in that hospital, I feel it was our best true self. Like, when we did hang out, now it's just like we got our phones in our hand. Like, you know, it's a lot of noise, distraction. It's not just us. So it was just a different energy. It showed me what life would be like if, you know, I was in a controlled environment with no technology. Because it was a controlled environment. So would I recommend checking into a mental hospital if you're going through something? No. I can't even say like go to like a therapist online or something and do a virtual, because they'll give you the bare minimum, but they won't give you what you actually need. And even when I left that hospital, I still didn't get prescribed all of the medication that they promised that I was going to get whenever I got out. So I was pretty bummed about that. And then I was recently told in another appointment that that they can't give me any more medication until I take a P test. And like my other psychiatrist was like, that's not true. They were just trying to trick you into giving your P so they can incriminate you in whatever kind of way, just in case you end up back in the hospital or whatever the case may be. So just stuck to my normal psychiatrist. They just continue the medication that was provided by the hospital. Like, I guess the only pro I would say is if you're a friendly person, even if you're not a friendly person, because I mean, I'm friendly, but my personality in there was just different. It was just so nonchalant. Like, I was just like a really good person to be around. I was really goofy. Like, I was the one farting. Like, me and a couple of people, we had fart wars. We farted in each other's faces. It sounds nasty, but I'm telling you, like, the boredom really struck there. It was bored as fuck. Especially when they took Amanda out of that unit. I only had like 2 days left, but everybody was like, it's so quiet. And it's crazy because the day that I got out, she got out too. And she called me like a few days later and she's like, you're in Houston? You're trying to go to so-and-so? And so I'm at the Galleria Mall. And I was just like, bro, you're moving too fucking fast. I was just like, I couldn't catch up. And another thing is, you know, being around that crowd, if their mental health is not 100% there, then it's just not good to have them around, honestly. Because they can just flip a switch in a minute, and that's not me. So did I deserve to be locked up in there for 7 days? Oh, I didn't even say that. I was in there for 7 days, a whole week, not 5, not 3. And a lot of people who should have stayed were getting out from about 3 days. So, and I haven't even written a review, but by the time I edit this video, I'm gonna have my review written and I am going to add it at the end of this video. So, if you'd like, you know, more details on anything that I said, because I really can't, you know, get through everything, I will make another video because we did get a lot of information on forgiveness, triggers, things that'll help you cope with your depression, things that if I was to actually study, then it would help, because that's not the way to do it. Not everybody can, you know, get over things and just move on with life the way that information gives you, but it kind of gives you an idea when you're at a crossroad and you're just like, fuck, what do I do? How do I feel? You know, things like that. It's like it gets you prepared for disappointment. That's how depressing it is. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you motherfucking like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to be back with another video after I finish my hair because it's going to take a while.